Luka Magic. Luka's debut last night in Los Angeles. We got to talk about it.
Do we?
Did you watch?
No. No, flat out no. I can't watch anything between 5 and 8 o'clock.
Up this early, you breaking down film?
That just means that I just get the Pac-12 after dark and maybe some Sports Center highlights.
Okay.
Maybe.
Well, I'll fill you in.
Did you?
No, because
were you there?
YouTube TV has Spectrum blocked, so I can't see it. But I watched some highlights and I followed the game closely. Okay. This is the biggest Laker debut since
Paul Gasol.
No. They had Kareem. They had Wilt. But I'm going to go Shaq, 1996. Because Shaq was 24. And you know who else was on that team? Kobe Bryant. I forgot. They both made their Lakers debut during the same season, just 2 days apart. Kobe was 18. Shaq was 24. Luka's 25. Potentially the next 25 years with the Lakers. Lakers won. Luka looked good. The offense was humming. But don't get too excited, Laker Nations. They beat the Utah Jazz.
Ooh.
So here's my point, Big Ben.
Yes.
The Lakers will make the playoffs. The Lakers will get out of the first round of the playoffs. But it will be in the second round when we see the holes in their roster. Right now, it's Luka pick and roll. We've got a guy running to the hoop, 3 wide shooters. You got Austin Reeves. He shoots it at 36%. Braun shoots it at 39%. Rui shoots it at 40%. But beyond that, it's depth and defense. The Lakers were 18th in the NBA in defense. That was with AD. Now it's Luka and LeBron trying to guard someone in crunch time minutes.
You better score more points.
Yeah. It all looks good until they get to the second round and they play a team and they get exposed. So enjoy the run. It's going to get better. But right now, I don't know, Big Ben. They're not a title contender is what I'm saying.
You made this prognosis of the Lakers and Luka by watching Gamecast on your ESPN app and getting some highlights after the fact. It's one game. You've had your standing desk longer than Luka in his time. You got to let it settle. Who knows what happens? I know you say the personnel's not going to change, I think is what you're getting at.
Yeah.
Personnel's not going to change. But maybe Luka inserts some sort of magic, or he revamps the team in a way that maybe they weren't playing before with AD. Maybe.
I'm just saying they didn't pass the second round of the playoff eye test.
There is one of those.
The eye test. You
have the second playoff round eye test.
I'm just going back to what I saw in Dallas and what I saw briefly last night and this morning on film. There's no defense, man. Who are they going to stop if they play OKC in the second round?
There's no They didn't need to play defense. They're playing the Jazz. There's no one to guard on the Jazz.
Okay. So let's put the Lakers against a cream of the crop NBA team. What are you going to do with Luka and LeBron?
Let them play 10 games and then make your second round assessment. That's all I'm saying. You need a bigger sample profile. If you're a researcher, you need a bigger sample profile. You need 10 games. You can't take it off one.
Listen, you may love him or hate this guy, Elon Musk. He says you got to make decisions quickly. It's the only thing I like about him. And I made my decision quickly based on limited information, and I'm moving forward.
I think the decisions you're referring to would be like, I don't know, nothing as it pertains to the basketball court. Like, this is one game with Luka. He's a transformational player. You're playing the worst team in the league, right?
Yeah.
He played 24 minutes. He's not going to play just 24 minutes throughout the course of the season. He's going to scale up. So I don't think you can make an appropriate assessment of the Lakers in one game. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't believe your assessment was invalid. I'm just saying the validity of it will become more substantial as we see more games. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. And I support your opinion.
Okay.
We might have another LA debut this week. Ben Simmons.
Oh, wow.
Is in LA. They got him from a buyout from Brooklyn. He's on the Clippers, and they play the Grizz on Wednesday night. But this is what I want to talk to you about. My buddy saw Ben Simmons looking at a house across the street, looking at a potential rental. And so this is the message I gave to my buddy. Because you've been to Hermosa. These houses are on top of each other. That's the benefits of the beach. You're close to the beach, but you don't have very much space between your neighbors or a backyard. So I said, you better hope he doesn't put a hoop outside.
Ooh.
Because you might have a lot of broken windows.
Well said.
Hello, and welcome to Big Ben and K Winn. Each week we broadcast live on YouTube. More of an audio podcast person? Don't worry. We got you covered. Download, listen, subscribe, 5 stars. If you're watching this live, on demand, or the audio version, drop your comments below. We will respond to them. I'm K Winn. He's Big Ben. Today we're going to talk about tanking for Cooper Flagg, the NFL offseason. I have a couple things up my sleeve and much, much more.
Ooh,
where do you want to start?
Up your sleeve. I want to talk about Magic Mind. I'm a Magic Mind endorser. Here's why I endorse it. Growing up in my family, my mom was big on vitamins. Vitamin D, we get, there's not a ton of light, natural light here in the winters here in Seattle. So vitamin D, she always talked about fish oil. She always talked about things that, the mind can benefit from, that we physically could benefit from. So I've always had this little pill case and I take some vitamins throughout the day. Then I realized Magic Mind. Not only does it have a lot of these properties, like I've just discussed, but it's got a lot of stuff for the brain, like ashwagandha, all these little micro supplements that help me throughout the day. And it's just a little vial. I don't have to think about taking vitamins anymore, choking them down, hoping to get them down, horse pills and all the such. But it's simple. It's easy. It's efficient. I love Magic Mind for what it does. The onset's pretty quick and it carries me throughout the day. My mind is magic. K-Win. I've got all the jargon. I've got all the rebuttals. I've got, I'm just a little bit better person. Actually, quite a bit better person on Magic Mind. So if you want Magic Mind, go to magicmind.com and enter our code, Big Ben K-Win 20 upon checkout. Get you 20% off. Make sure to bundle those. There's the one where you take it each morning, the one where you take it each night. Bundle those. The properties all work together. Not only are you well rested, but you're getting up, ready to go for the day, Magic Mind. And that's why I'm Ambassador K-Win. I love it.
I love it. You're going to love it too. That's 20% off on a one-time purchase, up to 48% off if you subscribe to Magic Mind. So go to magicmind.com/Big Ben K-Win 20. I love it. It's sharper, clean energy. That mental performance shot gets me going. I can take it on the go. I can take it while I'm scrolling for sports, watching my Lakers. No more sugary spikes from caffeine or those sugary, spiky energy drinks. Magic Mind, clean, crisp energy, also reduces stress.
Boom. Boom. What are we going to?
We've got NFL offseason. We've got tanking for Cooper Flagg, and a little fun.
Okay.
Choose.
I won't. Let's talk tanking for Cooper Flagg.
Okay.
The Blue Devils just got beat by Clemson in Clemson.
Yeah.
That's become a rivalry above and beyond maybe UNC at this point.
Ooh.
Because Clemson just trounced UNC too. So, gosh, it looked tough to play in Greenville. I think that's where Clemson's at, right? Anyway, Cooper's the definite, the number one draft pick. And then it's a lot of international folks, a couple people from Rutgers. I'm actually going to go try to watch Rutgers play UW just so I can get some eyes on Mr. Bailey here, Big Ten basketball.
Harper too, Ron Harper's son. They got 2 that could go in the top 3.
Yeah, they do. So, but oddly enough, they're like a 500 basketball team. It just doesn't make sense to me. Some guy said, maybe it takes 3 really good players just taking shots at the rest of the team. Okay, here's my question. Cooper Flagg, as we've seen him, we've got a decent sample size now. Who's his NBA comp?
I'm going to go Andrew Kirilenko with a jump shot.
Wow.
Remember AK-47? He was all over the defensive end. He was a little bit of a spaz on the offensive end. So That's why he's a hybrid. He's like Kirilenko on defense, offensively, potentially. People say KG, but I think he's got a little bit more to his game than KG.
Really?
In terms of he's got more of a handle to dribble it and get by
Okay,
you.
yeah.
Like KG's more back to the basket. So
Yeah. That makes sense.
I don't know who I would say on the offensive end. This is a bad analogy because this guy's always
Well, then
hurt.
don't give it.
Maybe a taller, healthier Paul George.
Okay, yes. Actually, Paul George, they'd say that his offensive game is more refined than most.
Yeah.
Like you had other people emulating, and there's Paul George was the guy, the it guy for a while. Um, I'm not going to give you mine yet. I haven't watched Cooper enough to give an appropriate
I mean,
idea.
I only have to watch once and I give
But,
my
but
assessment.
let me ask you this. Okay, so you give AK-47
On the
as the
defensive end.
defensive comp, and then Paul George on the. Okay, think of those guys. Where were they drafted? Paul George was like mid first, right?
Yeah, because he's out of Fresno State. No one saw his film.
And no
He's
one's
playing after dark.
and even furthermore, no one saw AK-47's film. Like he
Yeah.
probably couldn't find it. What is that? And then we have two guys from Rutgers who aren't even a top 25 team that are going to go in the top 10 of the NBA. What is Cooper Flagg that good? Like, can we
Yeah.
really say he's that? How can we say he's that good when he's not playing against top competition, like the best of the best in the collegiate ranks? I bet you half of the players drafted will be from the international ranks in the first round of the NBA,
That's fair.
right?
Yeah.
So it could be argued that someone in Australia's A League is playing against better competition than the college ranks, right?
That's true. But you have to remember the NBA, a lot of it is based on potential. And Cooper Flagg should be a senior in high school right now.
That's true.
And so he's doing this and he's got a higher ceiling. And for all those people that saw the clips in Las Vegas when he was playing against AD and LeBron and everyone, and he held his own in a little scrimmage. So I think his potential, his skills, his IQ, and I've watched him since the beginning of this year. He's gotten better and better and better. And what no one's talking about is he can actually pass the ball. Like if you watch the games, he can drive into the lane, he can kick it out to the three. If you double him, he can kick it out to the swing. His defense is really good. He's everywhere defensively. So if he could just grow into a better offensive player, he's already good. But I'm really high on him.
Okay, I maybe this thought process I was already came through in regards to Cooper. You know how sometimes you play down to the competition.
Yeah.
You know, you play as a team, especially in college, right? It's like if you still want your teammates to get theirs. You're playing as part of a team, you know, especially in a program like Duke, right? If he's playing at Rutgers, maybe this is, you know, he's putting up 40 a game and 20 boards and, you know, 40 shot attempts. But I could see now that your idea around how he played against Team USA makes me think. Like I'm thinking, do I tank for Cooper?
Absolutely. Like
You do.
the only hole in his game is consistent 3-point shooting. But he's gotten better since Christmas. But he can do it all. Like all these other players that got drafted over the last couple of years, they could do like a couple things or they were super athletic. Like he's just going to get in the gym and he's going to have a better jump shot. Like you could
Right.
put him in there and he can impact the game defensively right now. He's that good defensively.
I agree with you. He's got length.
Yeah.
He's and he is savvy too. You can tell he's played for a kid that plays above your your age group. You got to catch up real quick, right? He had it physically, but you got to understand the game and how it works. But you're thinking, where does he go next year? Where's a good fit for Cooper?
Glad you asked. So I want to talk about where Adam Silver would want Cooper Flagg to end up. Not saying that it's rigged. I'm just saying if he had a choice, which he kept secret, but we somehow figured it out, where would he want him to go? He would want him to go somewhere where there was a big TV market,
Okay.
where he was on TV and he can get to the playoffs in his first year. Those are the two things he would want. Washington's out.
Yeah.
Adam Silver doesn't want him there. New Orleans, Charlotte, Toronto, no. Portland, no. Brooklyn, yes,
Ooh.
on the TV market and the New York media.
And Cooper's from where?
Maine.
Exactly. That's probably the closest team.
I don't know. Maybe Boston?
Oh, yeah, Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boston's a little too... Yeah, get him in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
I like Brooklyn.
I've got other choices. TV and playoffs, right? You want to get your star in the playoffs because you want to be ready for handing the guard of the next guy. Orlando?
No.
San Antonio.
With
wow.
Wemby. With Wemby. Oh, my gosh.
They might miss the playoffs. And listen to this. San Antonio has 5 first-round picks.
What?
Excuse me. 4 first-round picks in this coming draft. 1 is Chicago. It's top 10 protected. The second is Charlotte, top 14 protected. The third is Atlanta. They're like in 8th place, so they won't be in the lottery. But the Spurs own their own, and they have a 3% shot. Could you imagine Cooper Flagg with Wemby, De'Aaron Fox, Stephen Castle, Devin Vassell?
You know
that's where Adam Silver wants him.
Do you know how? I would agree with you absolutely. I mean, and Pop's still around. God, yeah. Pop might. He's going to be taking Magic Mind every day too, just to the event that he lives to be 102 and would witness this. But you know how things happen, and you know, like not necessarily generational, but decade, right? Like the Spurs are an intelligent enough organization, though, that you have to go through the dip, right? Mm-hmm. And you have to do, and then you catch a guy just like they did with David Robinson, just like they did with Duncan, right? So you look at it this way: who came first, Duncan or Robinson? Robinson, right? So let's take Robinson as Wemby. Let's take Robinson as Wemby. Then you would have Duncan as Cooper.
De'Aaron as
Tony Parker. And then Castle as Ginobili. Boom.
Or Kawhi.
I forgot they had Kawhi for a while. Yeah. Jeez.
I got so excited I just started drooling.
You know what's Adam Silver might like the Alamo a lot. Like there might be some love there. I like it. I like that theory. Let's run with it. If you're San Antonio, yeah, just don't get Wemby hurt if you're not going to make it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Let's ease the tread on De'Aaron, and let's get Castle and a lot of these guys some good minutes. They weren't horrible to watch against the Blazers when I watched them last year.
No, they're good. They're just young, and they're trying to figure it out together.
Yeah, I like that. Okay. Let's do that, and then let's go bet hard on the Spurs in the 2028 NBA Finals or
I'll take them for the next 4 years if they get Cooper Flagg.
In perpetuity. You could be the guy like Mattress Max who picks the Astros each year. You're what would we call you? Storage Kyle. No, Google
Cooper Kyle.
Cooper Kyle. All right, let's move on.
NFL offseason's here. The Super Bowl. Whoa, that was a dud. Here's what I want to talk about. The biggest headline in the NFL offseason will be. I'll go first. West Coast headline. Who will be the starting quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders? They have Pete Carroll as coach, Chip Kelly as your offensive coordinator. They have the 6th overall pick. So Big Ben. I strategized this morning. Let me get to my notes here. All right. So these are all the teams that need a quarterback. Titans, Browns, Giants, Raiders, Jets.
Okay.
Titans pick first.
Yep.
Browns pick second. I don't know if they'll go Shador because Myles Garrett might be out of there. So they might get Abdul Carter. So let's just say Cam at 1, Abdul Carter from Penn State at 2. 3 is the Giants. They'll pick Shador. The Raiders are 6. I don't know if you want to pick like Jackson Dart or Milroe that early. So here's
No.
what the Raiders are going to do. They are going to
Oh, wait.
sign Justin Fields on a short term. And then in the sixth pick, they're either going to take Will Johnson, the quarterback from Michigan, or Mason Graham, the defensive lineman from Michigan, pair him with Mad Max. And in the second round, they are going to draft Jalen Milroe with the 39th pick. That's what the Raiders should do. All this offseason talk about Aaron Rodgers, Darnold, Russ. I don't think it makes sense to bring them in with like your young core. I think you got to just go young together. And Pete always did well with the scrambling quarterback. So that's why you have Fields to bridge the gap between him and Jalen Milroe.
Yeah, you're talking about mitigating risk, right? Like I don't want to put a lot in the pot with Sam Darnold on a 1-year contract, have it fizzle again. There's a reason they gave Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. They were low risk, right? They didn't cost much in the market. So what they're really going to have to assess is how much is Fields going to get in the open market, and you were able to swallow that. The price might go up depending on, you're right, how the draft shakes out, right? And if the Browns take a quarterback, God, can you think like Mark Davis? Ultimately, he's going to have a big say in this, right? He didn't get the reins to Pete Carroll in any way, shape, or form like he had with the Seahawks. So I
And how
agree.
much is Tom Brady going to be involved in this too, right?
Is he like Elon in the government right now, or is he just going to passively? Is he going to just passively kind of, okay, I'm sure he'll have a say, hopefully. Well, maybe. What I'm saying is if you're the Raiders organization, he has a say. He can raise his hand, but he doesn't have a gavel. Would be my hope. Unless you
Well,
want.
look at Chip Kelly too, right? He had Will Howard last year, but he had all these weapons around Will Howard. Usually I feel like Chip Kelly's had a mobile quarterback. If you
Yeah,
think of like,
Mariota.
yeah, or even in UCLA with DTR.
Yeah. Ooh, I think I'll get DTR.
Good.
Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh. 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 Another question. Is the AFC West the most intriguing conference headed into next, or excuse me, is it conference? No.
Division.
Division headed into next season. You got Harbaugh, you got Carroll, uh, you
Sean
got
Payton.
Sean Payton. I almost want to call him Sean McVay. You got Sean Payton, and then rounding that out, you got Shanahan. Like you have
No,
some.
no, no. Andy Reid.
Yes, you're right. Sorry, I wanted to put
I know
the
you're a Niners guy.
Niners in the. So you have personalities. You got the Chiefs maybe coming off their podium. You got ascending Broncos. You got ascending Chargers. You got revamped Raiders. I think it's the most, at least, intriguing division in the NFL in the NFL next year.
Yeah. The only other one you could potentially argue is the AFC North. You've got the Ravens, you've got the Browns, you got the Bengals, and Steelers. But that's boring football. I like AFC West. Look
Yeah,
at those quarterbacks. You got Mahomes, Knicks, Herbert, and you'll probably get Jalen Milroe on the Raiders. Great offensive schemes, great opportunities. I like the AFC West. That's a great call, Big
I
Ben.
do. I do like the AFC. That actually, I pilfered that from someone out here on talk radio. But they did liken the AFC West to kind of this. It's almost like the college ranks, like because you get so many. You got Pete Carroll coming in, Harbaugh, kind of like their own little institutions, and they're putting their own spin on each of their organizations. Harbaugh does it quietly, and then you got the Chiefs who are the Chiefs, and then you got the Broncos are fly under the radar. Bo Nix over delivers, and it's just there's a lot of good storylines around the division as it is.
I love Pete because he's going to come in. He's going to make that defensive better. He's going to get the right personnel defensively and offensively. We've seen it. He's going to run the ball. He's going to
Yep.
limit possessions. He's going to get a quarterback who's mobile. He's going to throw it to Brock Bowers in any formation. I like the way the Raiders are headed.
Well, just with that, with you, from not necessarily from a personnel standpoint, you're saying just from the pickups in terms of the coach and the offensive coordinator.
And what he will do moving forward, right? The
Yeah.
Raiders head coaching position has been like a revolving door. They haven't really been able to get the free agents. I don't know if ownership didn't want to get him, but Pete brings instant credibility, and all these players love playing for Pete. Like, he's a 75-year-old kid out there chucking footballs. They're wounded ducks now, but he's still throwing them.
Does he? Here's my only. He fit well with the Seahawks, right? It's kind of this.
He fit well with USC.
Listen, he did. But this is Raider Nation. This is like, there's a different culture, I think, and he's always brought in this competitive type thing. Oh, our guys are going to compete for everything, and we'll see if it fits.
Yeah,
we'll see if it fits.
Other storyline. Do you think the NFL should move to tracking first downs and the placement of balls with a microchip in the football?
Huh?
Yeah, they're talking about
Tell me more.
They're talking about putting a chip in the football and getting rid of the chain gang.
Oh my god!
But the chain gang is so dramatic because they're pulling the chain, and you're like, I don't know.
That's the best part of the game. Like, no, you do not put a microchip in. Like, we always have these compelling events that take place in football. It's the tough.
The Bills lost the Chiefs on a bad spot.
Exactly. But think about if one wants to argue that they got it wrong that time, go back to the hundreds of thousands of times that they got it right. Right? Like, you can't do recency bias and confirmation bias based solely on one interaction or one event, right? Just because they got it right. Don't disrupt everything. You're right. How did you get that feeling when they're going for the first down? Oh, they got it. Like, that's what I want. I want that feeling.
No microchip.
I don't want a microchip. What's a microchip going to? And then the microchip's going to just dislodge, and the footballs are all askew, and then someone's complaining that the microchip threw off the weight of the football, that it can't spin it. No, we've already seen this in baseball. We've sped up the game in baseball. Like, we have billions of places to go. Just give me that feeling of the person. My dad was on the chain gang. He loved it because of that thing.
You were personal.
Yes. Keep the chain gang. Everyone likes the chain gang, and they like it because it creates that. You pull it, maybe the little, the things with the actual chain gets a little, linked together, and you stretch it out, and all of a sudden they don't have the first down. Please keep it simple these days. Like, we can, if there's anything we can do, it's just allow us to feel something in the game. And microchips don't make me feel anything. What is it? Send up a little thing to some guy on a headset. I'd like to report this as a first down. That's no.
Don't
Stop.
Let technology disrupt it.
Stop. Just stop with the advancements. The game is good as it is. Let there be some human intervention into the game, right? The guy's doing the best he can. He's getting paid. He's going to go mark the ball where he believes it should be, and let that play out.
Yeah. Well, the microchip is not 100% accurate because technology can never be 100% accurate. Refs can't be 100% accurate. So you do have a great argument there. And Tom Brady probably can't deflate balls if there's a microchip.
My point exactly. Tom's against. He's using the Raiders vote in the overall consideration to say no.
All right. Should we get out of here?
Let's get out of here.
I mean, social media mentions, they're pretty limited because I can't get on TikTok anymore because I have a new phone. They won't let me download the app. So you got to put your social media mentions on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook next to my mom's comments.
How's Bev doing?
She's doing great.
Kyle, brush your teeth.
Yeah, exactly. He can comment on the football microchip right under that comment. At Big Ben, KWin _ anywhere you get your social media. Each week we're live on YouTube. And make sure you check out Magic Mind. You go to magicmind.com /Big Ben KWin 20 and you get 20% off when you check out and use our promo code Big Ben KWin 20, the mental performance shot. I love it. You're going to love it. Sharp, clean, crisp energy.
We'll end it right there. Boom. Just clean energy. Boom.
As we go out, I just want to bring some statistics to you. I know you got to run, but the Lakers have won 6
Oh
straight
my gosh.
since the Luka trade, and we have a
Oh
bet
no.
for a hat. And I don't know if you're watching the Mavericks, but AD is out,
Hey,
Lively's
there's a
out,
stipulation in our bet.
and
AD
Gafford
had to
got
be
a
playing.
swelling
It
knee.
doesn't. It doesn't count unless AD is on the court.
Get my hat ready.
Gosh, I'm
The
going to be frequent.
Lakers.
I'm going to have frequent flyer points at newera.com, eh?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's all right. Maybe I'll send you a used one or something like that.
Okay.
No, I'll give you a fresh old WSB.
It's not over yet. There's a lot of season left.
There is. We haven't even hit the All-Star break.
Yeah, but you got to track. We got to track these wins because I don't trust your math.
It's addition and subtraction. It's not like there's an algorithm to it. It's they had this many wins, they had this many wins. How many wins did they have?
I don't know what the baseline is. What was the baseline?
28 wins for the Lakers, 26 wins for the Mavs.
Writing it down. 28, 26.
Jiminy Christmas.
All right.
Jiminy Christmas.
I'm working on my travel schedule. I'm going to try to get my boss to fund a trip up to Seattle.
Really?
I mean,
You can stay on this Murphy bed right behind me.
Stay at the Four Seasons.
Okay, can I stay with you?
No.
2 queens. 2 queens.
Nope.
Boom.